Part 114. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1134. Lu Feng did not intend to kill Meng Tian because he believed that Meng Tian was very useful to the country. He did not come here to destroy the entire Qin state. However, she will try her best to let the young master Fusu survive and give him the right education. This way, he can ensure that Qin will not die in the second generation, and may be able to change the outcome of the entire history. This can be regarded as his personal selfishness. He wanted to know what would have happened if Qin had died without its second generation, and if Liu Bang, the villain he hated, had failed to become emperor, would he have been as inactive as before? After dealing with these Qin cavalry, Lu Feng sent Lu Buletin to capture Meng Tian in person. And Meng Tian was also so powerful that he almost committed suicide. It was because Lu Buletin was much stronger than him that he was able to successfully stop it. Young Master Feng, is this the only way you can deal with me now? Do you want to take action against Qin? The king is your biological brother. Fighting to the death between relatives is a kind of tragedy. You shouldn't be happy about it. Meng Tian was sent to Lu Feng. He lowered his head and was forced to kneel on the ground. However, his eyes towards Lu Feng did not show any sign of surrender. He belonged to Yingzheng and was an absolute die-hard fan, so it was natural. Will not surrender to anyone else. You don't a Euro trademark T have to tell me these things like this. I want a Euro trademark T kill you, nor will I kill Qin King Yingzheng. I just want to handle the border issues now and let young Master Fusu get a better teacher. In the future, I will naturally leave the entire Qin state and become more powerful under the leadership of Qin King Yingzheng. Do you understand? Lu Feng showed a harmless smile. He looked like he was the friendliest person in the world. But one day he could not help but tremble. He always felt that the person in front of him was a smiling tiger. If the young master does not want to overthrow the Qin state, then why is your attitude so ambiguous now, even refusing to accept any orders from King Qin Yingzheng, leaving the entire border area in a state where no one can mobilize it? Meng Tian didn't believe Lu Feng at all, because for him, the entire frontier was now out of the scope of the Qin state, and he could not get more accurate information about the border, not even the orders written by the king of Qin himself. And all this, if Lu Feng did not do it intentionally, others would not believe it at all. Who would have thought that Lu Feng Euro trademark's purpose was not to split the Qin state at all, but to make the Qin state more stable and eliminate all unfavorable factors in advance? So his statement made Meng Tian not only disbelief, but even wanted to commit suicide immediately to prevent Lu Feng from getting any handle, and in turn threaten Qin King Yingzheng. You people are too suspicious. I don't a Euro trademark T want to talk nonsense with you anymore. I will ask Lu Buletin to let you go later. When you go back, tell King Qin Yingzheng Fuzhua Euro trademark's teacher that I have already found him. Don't look for other teachers from now on. Lu Feng waved his hand and asked Lu Buletin to let Meng Tian go. He returned to Xianyang, the capital of Qin state, with the order he just said. After returning, he conveyed her words word for word. This was also for future consideration. Meng Tian saw that Lu Buletin was really he let him go and ran away without saying a word. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1135. Where there is life, there is hope. Meng Tian took this sentence seriously, so he had always lived according to this principle. Lu Buletin actually let her go, so she had no reason to stay there and wait to die, so she rushed back to Xianyang as quickly as possible. Your Majesty, these are the words conveyed by Gongzi Feng, but the general believes that it is absolutely impossible for him to have such a simple purpose. We should still be more careful and act with caution. After Meng Tian returned to Xianyang, he conveyed all the paintings to King Qin Yingzheng, but he thought there must be a liar in these words, so he advised King Qin not to believe them easily. King Qin Yingzheng was silent for a long time. Thinking about how much of these words could be believed, he couldn't figure out Lu Feng at all, so he finally sighed and left all the results to God's will. Just do as he said. After all, there is no one else we can trust now, and his strength is far above ours, but he has never killed us. Maybe it is just like what he said, the purpose is not to take our lives. I am also very curious now, who is the teacher he hired for Master Fusu? I actually thought that the teacher was better than me. Qin Wan Yingzheng still has some dissatisfaction, but his dissatisfaction does not lie in Lu Feng's attitude, but in the fact that Lu Feng actually said that the teachers he could hire were better than the ones he hired, which made him feel incredible. I know that the teacher he hired is the most powerful person in the Six Kingdoms, but he is not as good as the teacher Lu Feng hired. Could it be that he also made mistakes? Please forgive me, the king. When he was leaving, he didn't explain this matter in detail, so I don't know. Meng Tian shook his head. He didn't know what was going on. Before leaving, no one disclosed this information to him. Since Meng Tian didn't know about it, of course Qin King Yingzheng also knew more about it. He would not know, and he did not embarrass Meng Tian, but asked Meng Tian to go back and have a good rest. As long as he waits for the news in the next few days, he might be able to find out. And all the judgments were just as he thought. A few days later, a man named Zhang Liang was sent to Xianyang. When Zhang Liang faced the king of Qin Yingzheng, he was filled with anger. Zhang Liang's country, the Han state, was destroyed by the king of Qin Yingzheng, so he hated the king of Qin Yingzheng. He was able to kill him with his own hands, but now in such a scene, he simply did not have the strength. Moreover, the stilling that Lu Buletin gave Zhang Liang before letting him leave destroyed his martial arts. From now on, he can only be a pure civil servant. Of course, this is what Lu Feng means. Euro trademark s not that he treats Zhang Liang badly, but that if Zhang Liang can teach Fusu, Qin will definitely not perish. Lu Feng is aloof. The emperor, as for what he decides to do, others only need to follow his orders. How on earth should he do it? Of course he, the emperor, is happy. Zhang Liang originally did not intend to agree to anything to King Qin Yingzheng, but when he was caring for the child Fusu, he couldn't be cruel. He was a highly educated scholar, and he wouldn't want to take revenge on a helpless baby just for his own selfish desires. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Three Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1136. Zhang Liang finally stayed in Xianyang to teach the young master Fusu, but this was also because his martial arts were completely useless and he was forced to stay in the palace by King Qin Yingzheng, so he could only spend the rest of his time in the hands of the young master Fusu. The skills of a lifetime were also handed over to the young master Fusu, and at the same time, he was also thinking about how to get out of this palace. Perhaps no one could have imagined that after this change, Prince Fusu's character and life would also undergo a complete transformation. Although he was still so gentle, he was no less cruel than his father. And at critical moments, those who can be ruthless can eventually become an invincible emperor. At the border, Lu Feng confirmed that Zhang Liang had been sent to Xianyang, so he safely turned his guns to deal with the Rongdi outside the city. These Rongdi refused to give up the people of the Central Plains in front of them as their own fat, so they launched again and again. Siege warfare. They thought that if they could capture the city in front of them, they would be able to spend this winter happily. As long as the winter could last through, for Rongdi, the beginning of spring would be their world. However, Lu Feng did not intend to give them this opportunity. He launched a surprise attack when they were hungry and cold, and used fire attacks to set them on fire. Large tracts of grassland were burning with fire. Fortunately, Lu Feng made fire prevention facilities in advance, so these grasslands were not completely destroyed, but were burned at the locations where the Rong and Di troops were located. This is a targeted approach, but it is not the most important thing, because Lu Feng is doing this just to completely attack these people and let them know that they are not his opponents. After that, Lu Feng began to encircle and suppress these people. With hundreds of thousands of troops behind him, he went out again and again to use the diversity of arms and advanced tactics behind him to successfully attack these Rongdi. All the crises on the border have been resolved, and even food has been harvested again. I believe that by next year's autumn harvest, there will be a large amount of output. By then, the people will be able to have enough to eat, and there will be no more famines. During this period, Lu Feng wrote another letter to King Qin Yingzheng, telling him not to rush into the things he wanted to build and to leave some space for the people. This could also prevent riots among the people in advance. King Qin Yingzheng was a man with a long-term vision, but sometimes too strict laws would not make the people feel that the quality of the people around them was improving, but would only make them feel that they were living in dire straits. What ordinary people want is very simple, that is, enough to eat, warm clothes, a place to live, a farm life, and hope, so they will never care who their immediate boss is. It doesn't matter to them who sits on that dragon's chair, they just want to live a good life for themselves. Therefore, Lu Feng wrote this letter specifically to tell King Qin Yingzheng to adjust the laws appropriately, which would be beneficial to the entire Qin kingdom. And this is not exactly the reason why King Qin Yingzheng sent Confucian disciples to teach him. Theta Euro trademark S. The purpose of young master Fusu. Although Zhang Liang was Lu Feng's teacher to his son Fusu, in fact King Yingzheng of Qin had planned from the beginning to have Confucians teach his son Fusu and become the next generation emperor. 3 Kingdoms, I Have a Job Transfer Palace. Author, Strong Wine Burns the Heart. Chapter 1137. King Qin Yingzheng's teachings to his son Fusu were well-intentioned. He had always tried his best to give him the best, and he kept thinking about what kind of future he should give his son. Looking for Confucian teachers was also a process of heavy thinking every day, and finally I decided to find some old scholars with advanced ideas, which could not only ensure profound knowledge, but also ensure that their thoughts would not turn into sour scholars. Lu Feng was very clear about this concept, so he always believed that only a talent like Zhang Liang was the most suitable teacher for Master Fusu. However, in the world of Minjiu during the Qin dynasty, Zhang Liang and King Yingzheng of Qin had their country and family destroyed. Because of his deep hatred, he was absolutely unwilling to be the teacher of Prince Fusu. In this case, Lu Feng could only forcefully send Zhang Liang to the palace. And it's not just Zhang Liang. Lu Feng also asked people to find where Han Xian was found and sent him to Xianyang. He warned King Qin Yingzheng that he must reuse the man in front of him and never suffer him, and that this man would not be tortured in the future. He won't rebel, so let him use it with confidence, just like General Meng Tian, a euro who is reused. Although Qin Wang Yingzheng found these statements strange, what was very amazing was that he trusted Lu Feng's advice in these aspects, so he chose to believe his statements. After he had arranged all this, Lu Feng inspected the border. Since everything had settled down, there was no need for him to stay here anymore. He took Lu Buletin and Zhao Yun to Confucianism to collect a few swords and then left the world of Minjiu in Qin dynasty. After returning to his native world through the job transfer hall, he donated all 10 of the world's famous swords and could freely watch them every day. Looking at these world-famous swords, emitting their unique light, Lu Feng also felt very satisfied. The world-famous sword looks really pleasing to the eye. Congratulations, Your Majesty, you have now obtained another world-famous sword. I think your collection will be more and more in the future. Jia Su stood next to Lu Feng, watching Lu Feng happily viewing these world-famous swords, and knew that these were the things the emperor liked, so he gave them to him without saying a word. Just some insignificant collectibles. Lu Feng smiled and nodded. He felt very comfortable listening to this rainbow fart. I don't a Euro trademark T no, Your Majesty, where else do you plan to go? Because there is nothing going on in your own country these days, you must make the decision immediately. I believe that all colleagues can solve the problem quickly. How about you let the eldest prince be the prince to supervise the country, so that you can feel more at ease after leaving. Some Jiasu made an opinion at this time, because Lu Feng is often not in his country, so many things in the country are running on their own now, and these people given by the system are 100% loyal, don't worry betray. Ding, host, please prepare to go to the world of heaven and dragon sword, conquer beautiful women, and unify the world for eternity. But just after Lu Feng finished speaking, before he could answer whether Jiasu wanted to establish a prince, a new system mission was released, and there were more good things in the world he went to this time. Lu Feng's eyes lit up and he immediately decided to take it with him. Huang Zhong and Ma Chao went to this new world to have a good time.